Hi everyone, Sandra Vale here, Homesteading Ways, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to dehydrate fruits and vegetables. Okay, we're going to start here with the strawberries and pineapple. Don't have to do anything to them. You just slice them up. You just want to make sure they're a uniform width so that they all dry around the same time. It's harder, some are thicker than others. Then you'll have to keep checking them and pulling them out, and sometimes you just, are busy and you don't have time to do stuff like that. So it doesn't matter if they're small like this one or bigger, just so long as the thickness is similar. Strawberries are really great when they're dehydrated. They're super sweet. I made the mistake a couple of times of cutting them too thin, and they got stuck on here and it wasn't good. So a little bit thicker is better sometimes with certain fruits. Bananas are the same way. You don't want to cut your bananas too thin, otherwise you end up with trying to peel them off, and sometimes you just, you end up ripping them into little pieces and stuff, and it's not good. But your house will also smell wonderful when you dehydrate fruit. Some fruits have to be treated, but strawberries are not one of them. And that's all you do right there. And we'll stick that in the dehydrator, and the next thing up is pineapple. Now this is fresh pineapple. I don't think there's a better fruit out there that you can dehydrate than pineapple. It is my absolute favorite. My husband's favorite is watermelon, and I'll tell you, that does have a very distinct taste to it. And it's good, but I still think the pineapple is just out of this world. And when you're doing fruit, it depends on your unique dehydrator, what setting you're going to use. But on mine, it does have a temperature gauge. So mine, I think I put it at around 135. Fruit gets dehydrated a little bit higher than vegetables do. You can do it lower if you want. A lot of raw foodie people, they'll do it at 115 or below to keep the enzymes in there, and you can do that as well. And that was that. That's the pineapple. Now on to something that does require treatment is bananas. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but your bananas will look better if you do. Just slice them up and put them on here. Everybody has their own method of doing it. You have to treat them with something acidic. Some people use orange juice. You can use pineapple juice. I'm going to be using lemon juice. And you can dip them or you can spray them. However you want to get them on there, that's fine. Most of the time, you're not going to taste any residual flavor. For instance, if you use orange juice and you dip them and then dry them, they're really not going to taste much like orange. They're still going to have that strong banana flavor. And they are super sweet. The kids are going to love it. It's like candy. The only problem with that is just a few handfuls, and you could actually really be eating an entire bunch of bananas in one sitting. So you gotta kind of watch how many you're eating. But they are just so good, and they're not like the banana chips you get in the store. Those are actually fried. When you dehydrate bananas, they're more almost leathery. They're not crispy at all. Now, I cut these a little bit thick And this was 2 bananas that fit on here. Now what I'm going to do is, I put lemon juice in a little spray bottle like this. You don't have to, you can do it however you like. But then I'm kind of lazy, so I'm going to spray them. Just a real light. And then my lazy butt does it from the other side too. And just put them in there. Okay, now that I have those in there, let's move on to vegetables. Alrighty, vegetables. Here on the tray I chopped up some fresh green peppers. I like dehydrating green peppers because they work great in stuff like spaghetti sauce, like lasagna. I'm trying to think, it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of what that, soup of course, it's wonderful to have it in soup. But for some reason I can't think of the main thing I put it in. But dehydrated peppers, you can add them to almost anything, except when you're looking to kind of substitute fresh. Like I like having chopped peppers in my scrambled eggs in the morning, and I would not bother with dehydrated peppers for that. I don't want to reconstitute them for something like that, so I probably use frozen if I didn't have fresh. But you can add these peppers to a lot of stuff to give it extra flavor, and especially in the winter, you know, peppers aren't in season then, so don't buy them because they won't be local. But if you garden especially, or you visit a farmer's market a lot during the summer, whenever you get them on sale, whenever you have extras, chop them up. Freeze some. They freeze great. Just chop them like this, put them on a cookie sheet, let them freeze up, then put them in a baggie, or dehydrate them like this for your recipes. The next thing is mushrooms. I love dehydrated mushrooms. I don't eat them like that, but I love using them. And here I'm chopping them up into smaller pieces. Whenever their mushrooms are on sale at the store, I pick them up every time. And this time it was sliced, and you have to slice them even more so than what the store does, because you need, there's like a little coating on there, or like a sealant or something, but you have to slice it to open it up a little bit so it will dry properly. So if you're chopping them like me, then it's fine. If you want them sliced, like you're going to use them in beef stroganoff, and it's fabulous. You can use dehydrated mushrooms in beef stroganoff. It works wonderful. Then just slice them a little bit thinner. You don't want to try and dehydrate a really thick mushroom like this, because what ends up happening is it'll dry on the outside and over here, and then on the inside it won't dry all the way, but it'll be kind of hard to tell just because of the way that mushrooms are made. So either chop them up like this or slice them thinner, however it is, you know, you like to use them. And I like using the mushrooms in spaghetti again, and stuff like that. Anything with a sauce, a gravy, a soup. But one of my favorites is once these are dehydrated, and I pull them out, they're, you know, they don't shrink up that much more when they're dehydrated. But a lot of times I'll cut them up even smaller, and I'll use them as a filler, like in meatloaf, to help stretch your meat. You don't have enough meat, or you know, you have extra people coming to dinner you maybe didn't count on. Throw some extra mushrooms in there. You can hide mushrooms in a lot of dishes to help stretch your meat. There's protein in here. There's a lot of good minerals in here, and they fill you up pretty well. And in fact, mushrooms are one of the few foods that actually have naturally occurring vitamin D. And we especially need that during the winter months. So I'm going to put these on here. The only problem I have with dehydrating mushrooms is that they smell. At least I think they smell. I told my husband, I think they kind of smell like, oh, I don't know, sweaty socks. It's not pleasant to me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe to you it would be fine. But smell or not, it's definitely worth dehydrating them. And sometimes when I have smelly stuff like onions or garlic, stuff like that that's kind of overpowering, I will take the dehydrator and either put it out on my porch or put it in an upstairs bedroom, somewhere that's kind of away from the main part of the house, just so it doesn't get too strong. I'm going to put these off to the side here and show you the last. Here's the simplest. Now the whole point of this video was to show you guys simple ways. A lot of the times with fresh fruit and vegetables, there's some prep behind them. You may have to, with the vegetables in particular, there are some vegetables you're going to have to blanch. It's kind of up in the air, you know, as far as carrots go. Some people blanch, some don't. I do blanch them simply because it keeps the color really well. And blanching is just basically dipping your fruit or vegetable into boiling water anywhere from, say, 10 to 30 seconds, or if you have a particular recipe, for as long as that recipe says. With carrots, the color comes out really bright after they're done dehydrating if they were blanched. It doesn't if they weren't, but nutrition-wise, they're pretty much the same. So, here's an easy way, no blanching involved with anything. Frozen bags of vegetables. Now, if you ever get these on at the store on sale, pick up a bunch of them. Keep some in your freezer, dehydrate some. I use dehydrated vegetables a lot during the winter in particular. I add them to all my soups and a lot of my recipes. I just toss them in. Whenever there's any kind of liquid, a lot of liquid, going in a dinner or a lunch that I'm preparing, a lot of times I will use the dehydrated because they're shelf stable. They're just sitting there in a jar in my pantry, and I just pop them in there. I don't reconstitute a lot of my dehydrated vegetables to eat, you know, like straight in a bowl with butter or whatever. I tend to use frozen for that, but I believe in, you know, all kinds of food prep. You know, I freeze stuff, I can stuff, I dehydrate stuff. Each one of them has, you know, a place in your kitchen. So, you know, do what feels right for you, what works for your family. But there you go, you know, you just put this level. By the way, peas are not something you have to blanch. Now, it used to be it would fill the whole tray when they were doing the 1 pound bags of vegetables, but most companies have now started cheating us by giving us only 12 ounces. So there's your peas. Here's the carrots. No blanching involved. If you want to do bigger vegetables, say like broccoli and cauliflower, you most certainly can do that. Just sometimes they don't fit well in your dehydrator. So let them thaw maybe halfway, and then just cut them into a little bit smaller pieces so that they fit in your dehydrator. These work great in casseroles. And like I said, you know, I don't know about your house, but at my house we often have last minute dinner guests thanks to the kids. And it's okay, we don't mind that at all. But sometimes you got to add really quickly to what your dinner was. And adding extra vegetables really seems to help. Plus, it gets that extra nutrition in there that a lot of people don't think about. I know my husband doesn't get enough vegetables every day, so if I didn't give a few of them to him at dinner, he'd always be lacking. Some of these are kind of frozen together. I'm trying to take them apart now. Otherwise, halfway through, I'm going to have to go through and try and get them apart. Now, vegetables go on a lower temperature. These are going to go about 125, whereas fruit's about 135. But you can do it how you like. You can always reduce it. You know, it'll just take a little longer, that's all. And the time it takes to dehydrate really depends upon what it is you're dehydrating, how thick it is, and what the humidity is in your kitchen or your environment. Now the last thing we're going to be putting here is corn. Everybody loves corn. Now, I don't do this, but I know a few people that once their corn is dehydrated, they eat it like that, like candy. They say it's so sweet and so delicious, the kids actually eat it as a candy. I'm going to try it one of these days. I swear I will. Well, I just haven't yet. Corn is probably one of the #1 veggies we eat in the house. It's just a very versatile vegetable. Everybody seems to like corn, even though, you know, some people are picky, they don't like this veggie or that veggie. Almost everybody likes corn. And corn's a good source of fiber too. So we're just going to put that in there like this. And I'm actually going to get the dehydrator going with both the fruit and the vegetables in it. Normally I don't do that. I'm just doing it now for this video. I'm going to do it at the lower temperature instead of the higher. So everything's going to be going at about 125 degrees in there. I'm going to say it's going to take about 5 hours. So maybe it'll be a little less, I don't know. Mushrooms take very little time. I do those also at 125. Those take, depending on how loaded your dehydrator is, like 4 hours. It doesn't take very long at all. Check them even before the 4 hours because it could be less. I'm not going to put these in with that because I don't want my bananas tasting like mushrooms. So these are going to go into the fridge for now. When these are done, I'm going to add these and some more chopped mushrooms, and then I'm going to show you how it all turned out. Alrighty, well, most of this got done pretty close to bedtime last night, so I decided to go over it with you this morning instead. Here are the strawberries. They're pretty thin, even though I cut them, you know, a little bit thicker. So I think next time I could go even a little bit thicker than what I did this go around. And I'm going to probably just put these in some baggies because I didn't do very many of them this time. But you could put them in jars, mason jars, or, you know, any kind of leftover jars you may have. Just recycle like that. Or, like I said, you can put them in baggies, or if you're going to store any of this food long term, you can use like a food saver bag. Just suck the air out, the vacuum bags, and they will stay really long in there. So that's the strawberries. Here are the green peppers. They're pretty small, but once you put them in your sauce or whatever you're going to add them to, they'll go right back to their normal size, and their color will be good too, so you don't have to worry about that. Now in this jar here, I have some red peppers that I did, oh geez, probably at least 6 months ago. So this is just a leftover jar I had, I think, from coconut oil, and I'm going to add the green peppers to that. It looks kind of neat when they're mixed together. And then you can have kind of a variety. Move on to, here are the bananas. They're still a little bit brown. I may not have used enough of the lemon juice spray, but they still taste fantastic. My son snuck a few already. Very sweet, very nutritious, but see, they're smaller. They didn't shrink up that much, but they're smaller size. You can easily eat a whole bunch of these without even thinking twice about it. But you don't want to do that, because you don't want to be eating 1 or 2 bunches of bananas at one time. Might give you a bellyache. Just pull those off like that. And then, there you go with the bananas. Here's the pineapple. This stuff is so good. Some of these I had to keep putting it back because some of these were cut a little bit thicker than others, so it took a little while longer. But these just taste great, and your house will smell wonderful as you're doing them too. Most fruits smell really good when you're dehydrating them. And I think I'm going to just mix these pineapple pieces with the bananas and the strawberries and put them in a baggie as a nice snack for my son. Here's the peas. They still look great. They have a beautiful color to them. Just throw them in your soup, your stews, whatever. They'll turn out great. Now this is 12 ounces, not quite a whole pound, because like I said, they aren't making the bags a pound. At least some of them aren't. But do a few bags at a time. Fill up your whole dehydrator and get as much going as you can. And just store this stuff on your pantry shelf. Here are the carrots. These were crinkle cut, and they too have a really nice bright color to them, nice and orange. You can mix them with your peas if you want. Mix them, you know, make your own custom mixed vegetables. This too was 12 ounces. You can easily fill up a jar like this or like this using a few bags. Here's the corn, and as you can see, I already have some in here that I've been using. I'm going to add that to there. Corn dries fairly quick too. And these last two are the mushrooms, and they did get a little bit smaller than I remember, but I think I cut them up quite a bit smaller too. I'm going to add them to this jar of mushrooms. These are actually bigger pieces that would do really well for your beef stroganoff. So if I just mix these in, I'll have bigger pieces along with the smaller chunks too. I hope you liked the video. I hope this helped you out. Food storage is really important, and it's so convenient. Whether it's freezing, canning, or dehydrating, having food ready on your shelves to go, especially when you're busy, really helps out a lot. If you like the video, please check out my other ones. Subscribe. We come out with new videos every Thursday. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks for taking the time. It was nice talking to you, and you take care.